This is the story of Miss Suzy. When Grammy was little, this was one of my only books. It was one of my favorite and Aunt Betsy's favorites. Miss Suzy by Miriam Young. Miss Suzy was a little gray squirrel who lived all by herself in the tip top of a tall oak tree. She liked to cook, she liked to clean, and she liked to sing while she worked. Every morning, Miss Suzy made herself a bowl of acorn pudding, and as she stirred it around, she sang, "Oh, I love to cook, I love to bake, I guess I'll make an acorn cake." After that, she swept the crumbs from her moss carpet with a little broom she had made from the maple twigs. Then she dusted her firefly lamps and rinsed her acorn cups and put her whole house in order. At night, Miss Suzy climbed into her bed and looked through the topmost branches at the sky. She saw 1,000,000 stars, and the wind blew gently and rocked her to sleep. It was a very peaceful. But one day, a band of red squirrels came jumping and chattering to the foot of the tree where Miss Suzy lived. They were quarrelsome fellows and liked fighting so much they even fought amongst themselves.
They're mean.
Those mean squirrels.
They're meanies.
Miss Suzy did not see them because she was in her kitchen, and she did not hear them because she was singing, "I love my house I used to read, my own little house, my own oak tree." She was just putting her cake in the oven when she looked up and saw a lot of strangers in her doorway. 1, 2, 3, she counted, and 1, 2, 3 more. 6 red squirrels. They chased her out of her little house. They broke her broom and threw out her acorn cups. Then they ate up all her whole winter's supply of nuts. Now that wasn't very nice.
They're very, very mean.
Poor Miss Suzy, she didn't know where to go, and while she stood wondering what to do, it began to rain. She scampered up the nearest tree. It was a maple standing beside an old house. She ran out on a branch and dropped to the roof. Then the rain came down hard and her fur was all wet. Shivering cold, Miss Suzy scrambled down the chimney of the old house and out of the hole in the chimney and into the attic. Look at that. What did she find? There in the dusty, quiet attic, she found a beautiful dollhouse. It was big enough for a whole family of dolls. She knocked on the door. There was no answer, so she peeped inside. My, what a lovely house, thought Miss Suzy. It fit for a queen, but it needs a good housekeeper, so it was just the place for me. The flowered carpets were covered with the dust, and cobwebs clung to the gold chandeliers. There was a dust on the black iron stove in the kitchen, and on the little piano in the parlor. There was even dust on the china closet in the dining room, and a spider web on the dishes inside. Oh my, she's going to have a lot of work to do. What's in the box? The next morning, Miss Suzy was hungry, and she left the dollhouse looking for nuts or seeds. On her way to the attic window, Miss Suzy saw a box. Just the thing to keep my nuts and seeds in, she thought. And she opened it up. Well, what do you think she saw inside? A band of toy soldiers. They had been sleeping there for years. Oh, look how happy they are. Smiling.
Happy.
Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thanks for setting us free, said the captain. And now I need a place for us to live. Oh, do come stay with me, invited Miss Suzy.
That Miss Suzy is very nice.
Yes. So the toy soldiers...
But those red squirrels are mean.
So the toy soldiers marched into the big dollhouse, and Miss Suzy took care of them like a mother. She cooked their meals in the little kitchen and she served them in the dining room. At night she told them stories and tucked them into for the four-poster beds. The soldiers were very happy, and the most of the time Miss Suzy was happy too. But not always.
Because of those squirrels.
Sometimes she looked at the flower carpets and the real china dishes and the gold chandelier, and she sighed, thinking of her plain moss carpet and her firefly lamps and her acorn cups. One night in the spring, instead of telling the soldiers a story, she told them about her old home in the oak tree. Then she told them how the red squirrels had come and chased her away, and a tear rolled down her furry cheek. Poor Miss Suzy. Late that night, the captain woke his men and gave them their orders. There were only 5 of them, but they were very brave, and their hearts were full of love. After all, Miss Suzy had cared for them all winter long. They marched up to the oak tree and scaled the trunk. The red squirrels were, as usual, fighting amongst themselves. They were making so much noise that they did not hear the soldiers until it was too late. "This is Miss Suzy's house," said the captain, drawing his sword. "Will you go peacefully, or must we fight?" The red squirrels looked at the soldiers with their shiny swords and brave faces, and one by one they scurried headfirst down the tree. "And don't come back!" shouted the captain. Miss Suzy was overjoyed when she heard she could move back into the tall oak tree. She thanked the toy soldiers and made them promise to come for dinner once every week. Then the soldiers waved goodbye and marched off through the forest, singing merrily. Miss Suzy had to work hard to make her old home neat and cozy as it had been before, but she didn't mind. She made it a new moss carpet and a new broom, and gathered fresh acorns for cups, and caught 2 fireflies for her lamp. At last she had everything in order. That night, when she went to bed, she was very tired, but she looked through the branches and she could see a million stars. The wind blew gently and rocked the tree like a cradle. It was very peaceful, and Miss Suzy was very happy once more.
Those nice little toys.